I don't actually like gear. I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people really get into the newest gear, the greatest gear, the latest gear. That's like not my thing. I appreciate gear that works well. I view gear as something that helps me achieve a goal. Like, I love my PFD. It keeps me safe. It keeps me warm on a cold day. It gives me easy pockets for the stuff that I need to have handy. But it gets me those things without me really having to think about it. I love my kayak because I love where it can take me and the things that I can see and the experiences that I can have in it, but I don't own a fleet of kayaks. Gear is a tool that helps me do the things that I want to do. In the last house we owned, I had a lot more gear than I do now. I built what my wife called, and I started calling it that too because it's a great name, the gear monolith, which was, I essentially built a big shelf unit to hold all the gear in my office. And I was super proud of it. It looked great. It worked really well. It kept me organized. And when we moved from that house, I knew it was going to be a while, but I was really sad because I loved how well that system worked. So I knew I would have something as good or better, and that's what I built here. We knew when we sold that house, there was a good chance at some point in the next year we would end up living in the van. And so I sold a ton of gear and gave away a ton of gear. The nice thing about not really like being in love with gear is that it's easy for me to part with, and I give away a fair amount of gear. Before I buy something new, it's either replacing something I'm about to get rid of or it's replacing something that has died. I generally don't really stockpile gear with a few exceptions. Moving in here and seeing the space, I realized that this was an opportunity. I needed to build something to deal with my gear. And the reason that I have to have something like this, besides the obvious, is in general, I'm not organized and I forget where stuff is. So it's super important for me when I'm prepping for a trip to just be able to go open the stove bin and pull out the stove that I need and stage it over there in a bag. And it's super important for me at the end of a trip to bring the bags back in here and put things back on shelves where they go. And that also gives me the ability to be like, oh, this didn't work right. I need to fix this. And so then I've got out the door workbench where I can deal with that stuff. But in here is all gear storage. And I'm a little annoyed because I just finished building it, but it's already at capacity. I can add some more shelves, but I did not think that I would be at capacity to start. And that's a little frustrating because I got rid of a ton of gear when we moved out of North Carolina, and that I'm at capacity is problematic. So the system is set up with big bins that slide in and out, and small bins for littler stuff, and then sleeping bags are up here. Sleeping bags you don't want hanging. That used to be a thing, and manufacturers have said now that it can stress the baffles. So a good sleeping bag should come in a storage bag like this. And there's always sleeping bags in the van, and my paddling gear is always in the van. My paddling gear never comes in here, except for extra paddles. But yeah, so these are all temporary labels, and I'll do temporary labels for like 6 months because I may change my mind as to what's going where. I bought stencils so that I can label all of these bins, but the nice side about labeling bins permanently like that is that you see exactly what you've got. You can't read this because my marker was fading, but this is extra kayak gear. This is all shelter stuff. This is all kitchen stuff. This is all sleep stuff down here. And then the bottom one is just first aid gear, which could probably go to a smaller bin, but I have to play with that. But I may change my mind. And so I'll wait a little while and see if things have to be moved about to make for better organization. And when I finally settle, I'll end up with stenciled, painted, whatever is in the bin. The downside of that is that a year from now, or 2 years from now, or 5 years from now, that bin may end up being used for something else. And that's when you end up in a situation like this. This used to hold water stuff, right? And it's forever going to say water stuff. And a fair amount of my bins will say stuff on both sides because I changed my mind at some point after I'd already written it out. So that's the downside. If I were really smart and really organized, there would be clear sleeves. Maybe I'll do this. Clear sleeves Velcroed to the bin, and in that you put what the bin is. I don't know if I'm that organized. I'm also a big fan of what Adam Savage, who has an amazing workshop. It's a little cluttered for me, but it's an amazing workshop. What he calls first order retrievability, which is you don't have to really dig under things to get to things. So if I decide I need a fuel bottle, they're right here in this bin. And that's really nice. If I need a dry bag, they're right down here in this bin. These are extra paddles. This is the bench shaft that I don't really use. This is my older Kamano. These are racks from a company called Gear Racks, which I just discovered and really like. I've ordered a couple other things from them. These are not designed to hold paddles, but they work perfectly. I'll put a link to them down below because they're super cool. I think they're like 20 bucks a piece. They can probably hold at least 2 paddles, maybe 3. Oh, easily 3, but not 4. And so this is where spare paddles will live, extra paddles will live. Up high, I've got a couple of extra PFDs. The YTV on the right is what I used to use stand-up paddleboarding. If I'm not working with a student or anything like that, I don't need the pockets. It's a really comfortable low-profile vest. And that's my older Seawolf on the left, which I really like and probably will never wear again, but it's a nice PFD. It'll live there, it'll look nice, it'll remind me of trips. These are 2 older bins from the last gear vault. This used to be kitchen too. Now it's got water stuff in it, and I'll probably replace it with a matching black bin. And then this bin is dry bags, and it's just dry bags. And it's ridiculous. I have way too many dry bags. Part of that is because the nice folks at Zen Bivy sent me a bunch of dry bags to test out, and I already had a full array of dry bags. I have a lot of dry bags. So these don't have names on them yet. That's water filters and such. That's just got a poop trowel in it. I think it's waiting for some more stuff. And then this is cords and bags and stuff like that. So organization will continue to evolve through time, but so far I'm pretty happy with what I've got. So essentially what I built was a big walk-in closet that's really insulated. So concrete floor, which I took the time to do an epoxy coating on, which came out really nice. I'm super happy with that. This brick wall is an interior wall, so my house's kitchen is on the other side of that. This is really the only exterior wall behind the camera, and that's insulated, and the ceiling is insulated, and these walls are insulated, and the ceiling is insulated. And what I wanted to do, I don't have heat in here, and I don't have air conditioning in here, and we'll see how it goes this winter. I think the room should stay pretty stable because there's not a whole lot of airflow. We'll see how cold it gets in the winter, but yeah, fingers crossed. This big platform, which is all white and nicely lit, is so that I can talk about gear. So yeah, I can talk about gear. I can also use it to stage gear for a trip or something like that. And then up over here, above the door, I'm going to put just like cool stickers that I found. That's from someone that I gave a lesson to who owns a paddling company. And this is a gear rack sticker, and that'll go up there. And if you've done a trip with me and given me stickers, or if I've hung out with you and you've given me stickers, or they'll go up there. And I think that'll be sort of a cool sort of signpost for the trips that I've done. So this is the gear vault. You'll be seeing this space. I think I'm going to be shooting in here a lot. So far, I like it. Okay, I'll see you outside.